We have our first podcast with Parth Patel. So Parth Patel is going to ask me a bunch of questions and I'm going to answer. All right, Parth, what do you have? First question to you. Let's talk about the first 5 clients we got. The first 5 clients for the agency.
Like, how did we got first 5 clients?
Yeah.
Or like,
How
what
did we
did
get
we
them?
do for
Yeah.
them?
How do we get the first 5 clients? You remember? I remember one client, native. He was from Calgary,
Okay.
right? And he stayed with us for 1 month.
1 month, yeah. So,
And then he canceled the service, right? What was the second client?
I think the second one was basically we got it through reference from one of our ex-colleagues,
Musa?
Musa, yeah,
And he worked.
he worked at some of the other company who does social media marketing as well.
It was a white labeling,
It was
basically.
white labeling, and
That was the cheapest offer we had.
this offer we got few
Like
clients
few
from
couple of
him.
$100 or something for per client. We first, I guess, got Google Ads account first, and then
So we
Meta Ads
got
account.
few Google Ads, we got few Meta Ads. Google Ads, like you knew about Google Ads, and
But Meta Ads, we had to figure
Meta
out a little
Ads
bit. There was
was
a bit of a
something that
learning
we-
curve for us because we.
it was very challenging for us because it was very much new for us, and so we had to learn a lot and do our own research and how can we do different.
So how many clients do we get from Musa?
we are, I can say 7 to 8 times initially at the start.
Okay, so we'll consider them one client because it's white labeling,
Right,
less money,
and there's one client, then
there's nothing much to do there because we were just learning and we were performing better than they were performing with their existing ads people which they had in-house. Okay, so what was the third client you remember?
third client I remember we got was one accounting.
One accounting was the third
One
client?
accounting, maybe a Royal Veterinary Hospital.
Royal Veterinary Hospital, yes, now I remember. So I got Royal Veterinary Hospital, I called the client up and I was just trying to close him for Google Ads and he was the fastest closed I ever had. Like I talked to him, we connected well, we spoke and he wanted some Google Ads for his veterinary hospital.
Yeah.
And I was able to convince him and he's a client with us till now.
Yes, he's still a
He also gave us another veterinary hospital,
yes.
right? So we're doing great with him. He's a great guy, right? That's nice. His name is Iftikhar, right?
Yeah.
What else?
We had a fruit cake business also. That was also
that fruit cake business. She was a small business. She was running out of basement. She couldn't afford the service, but we tried to convince her that the ads is the only way that's going to save you and your business. She was doing Shopify. Her website did not look good. Her socials were not aligned. We tried to tell her that ads is the only way to get more customers. She did get good amount of sales, and then something just went wrong, and she just could not carry on because of finances problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the next client you remember?
I think the next phase that we got few bunch of clients from the same client that we got, and then we got to
Which
learn.
one was that? Like what client are you
I
talking about?
mean, from Empower we got a lot of.
Oh, keeping that aside, because that was white labeling. It was anyways like we have, we were kind of undersold on that. So not a lot of revenue from it. We were just burning and testing out, and like in terms of revenue, we were just not doing well.
We had, I think we did Meta Ads
For?
at some point, and we got few leads from Meta Ads.
Yeah, man. But imagine the amount of times we had to call those leads because they were not answering their calls, and it was a whole mess. Remember the last time you made cold calling to people?
Yeah, man, it was very challenging for me. Right, I'm not a salesperson, right? So it's hard for me to even talk to someone on the call and
to strangers?
convince them to get a service, right? because you aren't, if you don't see a person, if you don't,
you know, at that point, when you don't have enough clients, you have expenses to pay, the bills to pay, support your means, you don't have the money to survive, how suffocated you used to feel? How do you, what was your feeling at that point of time when you don't have enough to meet corners?
Basically, when you don't have money, you always feel the pressure of what can we do next, right? How can we get clients, right? So that basically push you to do certain things which you are not even
which you wouldn't do normally,
meant for, right?
Yeah.
So just like, for example, I did a sales calls, right?
But you're not even a salesperson.
I'm not even a salesperson.
You've never done sales in your entire life, and you're just out of nowhere. You started doing sales calls because you needed clients. You're like cold calling people that, hey, do you need the service? People were rude to you. You told me they were rude to you. They were very rude upfront. They didn't want the service. Don't call me ever again. And you're shaken.
Basically, you have to talk to yourself and just
go for
push yourself and have some hope that, you know, we can do better. And
so in an average, when I used to make sales calls, in an average per call, per number I used to call like 7 times in one go. Okay, 7 times in one go. I used to do around 80 to 90 calls a day. That's what I used to do, 80 to 90 calls a day. Answer rate was around like 20 people, 30 people, right? But conversations, not like closing deals, because you're starting off, you don't exactly know how to present the company. The brand is so new, we don't even have any reviews. We don't have any Google business profile ratings.
We don't have any portfolio.
No portfolio. The website doesn't look good. You don't have the money to even make a website.
Yes.
You don't have the money to tell that we are a local brand with a local office. There's no office, right?
There was no office,
There was no office at all, and if people wants to meet in person, we have to meet at coffee shops. It's very sketchy to meet.
We can't trust.
We can't trust the other person. The other person cannot trust us, right? Very hard times, very, very hard, low, depressing times that has gone by, right?
Yeah.
And I think we did a great job coming out of that, right? We came out, and I still feel suffocated. I still feel that, you know, we are always 24/7 under gunpoint.
Yeah.
I always feel the pressure. I always feel the heat, but I feel this is what we have signed up for.
Yeah, and something called consistency has played a huge role in where we are today and what we are doing. We have to keep doing what we are doing, right?
And I think we have just achieved a mere 1%. This is just 1% of where we want to go. Where we want to go, what we want to achieve is just 1%. So we haven't achieved anything. We are still grounded. We still have our heads down, and we keep working day and night. And we also, more than working, we just want to make a difference. We want to help business owners. We want to guide them in the right direction. So the way we started ORCAFY was under one notion is, whatever we see wrong, right, as a marketing agency, previous marketing agency that we were acquainted with or we are in relationship with, what they were doing wrong, we wanted to do it better.
We want to do it better.
We wanted to be fair with our customers. We wanted to be fair with the business owners that we're dealing with.
Yes.
We don't want to sell SEO or ads to a person that requires content creation.
Content creation, yes.
Or we don't want to sell content creation to a person that requires SEO, right? Because these services cannot be bundled and sold to somebody because they are not the solution.
Yes. So that is something we did differently.
Exactly. You have to understand the person needs, understand their business, understand what financial situation they are in the first place. That's very important. As a business owner, budgeting is very important. You can't just tell, pay me X amount because on a bundle package we have this offer. Such a wrong way. This is not, you're not selling feature of a car, right? You're not selling a car that, I'm going to add floor mats to your car. My point. So this is highly customized service, and it can be highly misleading at the same time. Don't you think it can be misleading if I bundle a package and sell SEO, Google ads, meta ads, and tell you, oh, we have a bundle offer, business owner, here you go. This is so wrong. Maybe you don't need the bundle offer. Maybe you just need you need meta ads, or maybe you just need content creation for the month, right? I think for agency owners and agency founders, it is very important to first build relationship with the business. Understand the business, understand where they're coming from, their problems, understand their budget.
Yes.
Understand that, okay, maybe they can go one service at a time. First, I go with one service, prove where I am, prove that that service works for them, and then go into the next service. Because not every service fits every business.
Yes.
It doesn't. Even till now, after 8-9 years of marketing, I see people just doing Google ads and meta ads, or maybe content creation, or maybe SEO, just because they got sold on a bundle package, and it does not even apply to their business.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So for an example, a restaurant owner, when he gets sold on an SEO service, example, when somebody searches restaurant near me, the first thing they see is maps, right? SEO services for website will rank only websites.
Yeah.
When is the last time you ordered food by seeing a website? I haven't seen a website in the longest time. I just either Google Maps, because the reviews are authentic, they're real, the pictures are real, uploaded by people. I can see the ambience, I can see how the place looks like, I can see the food, I can see real-time reviews. And I think most of it has to do with Google Maps, has to do with more Google ad maps to increase more walk-ins, more Instagram profile handling, more video content creation, more viral social media, because the time has changed now, right? So if you pitch SEO and this and that to a restaurant owner, he might spend $1,000 and he said, oh, you know what, I don't trust marketers. Such a bad thing to have. Our industry is not regulated, right? Nobody's eyeing us from top saying that, hey, you know what, you cannot pitch such services to business owners just because you're making profit out of it, you're making money. I understand business owners or agency owners, they need to make money, but the right way.
But the right way, yes.
Because it's going long term, you're aiming towards long term. Why don't you sell the service that works and see if it works for him? Then you can pitch more ideas on top, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot be unethical and pitch just because you have a bundle package offer going on. The restaurant owner takes it, or any businesses, a dentist takes it, and he or she doesn't get any lead out of their business. What's the point?
Right.
So we created ORCAFY with one simple thought in mind, that whatever we do should be right for business owners.
Business owners.
They should not be misguided. They cannot be, our information cannot be misleading. Because anybody can do marketing in this today's world. Somebody sitting offshores, somebody sitting somewhere offshores, basement and this and that with no proper experience, they can claim themselves as marketing. Because marketing, I think 90% is speaking, 10% is doing, right?
Yes.
So business owners tend to fall for that trap. They trust the wrong person. They feel hurt. They again look for similar people. They get hurt again. So year after year of getting hurt, they can't find the right people, because agency owners or freelancers or people who are doing marketing, they're not recommending the right thing. I'm not saying everybody's the same, but there are very few out there that recommends the right thing, because recommend the right thing means lowering agency owners' revenue, right? It hurts their business. But I don't think it should hurt their business. But if a business with you, for an example, I'll give you an example. One of our clients, like Royal Veterinary Hospital, is with us for the past 3 years. If I would recommend him podcast, for an example, at that point of time, I don't think he has the time or the need for it, right? He has two clinics, 2 veterinary hospitals. He's very busy. He himself is taking care of practices there. He himself is present, and I don't want him to take his time away to do podcast regarding what. But Google ads at that point of time meant more to him, because people are seeing map reviews, people are seeing Google ads being ranked, people are calling him, and he gets more busy. That's why he's with us.
Yes.
And he trusts me.
Yeah.
I'm his consultant, right? I'm his account manager. He trusts me. Anything happens wrong, he calls me. He his veterinary hospital is doing great. He calls me. He appreciates me. He appreciates the team. He gives constructive feedbacks. So there you go. But today, I want to also understand the people that we have around us, the team that we built around us. How did we build such a team? What did we see in them before we hired them? Because at some point of time, we are being hired by somebody else, right? And being on the other side is not easy. I understand, like if you're being interviewed, it's not easy. But what do we see in them that they're here?
So the most important thing that someone saw in us was the willingness to learn new things and put more value on their table, right?
That's a great point.
That is something that we always look in a candidate when they apply for any position. We always see that how far they can go. Yes, I mean anyone can do their work if they are being given a training under someone. They can do it, right? There's nothing nothing extra in it. But we also see that what that person is doing other than just working on a task, like what else they bring on their table, what else they are helping to the whole company.
So you talked about willingness.
Yes.
I talk about willingness and resilience at the same time, right? Willingness that if, for an example, you're starting your career, obviously there is room to improve. There's room for improvement. There's always feedback that you're going to get from your managers, your subordinates, your colleagues. You're going to get feedback, and willingness to take that information and write it down, make notes, implement them, see where you're lacking, time and again, going back to those notes, seeing where you can implement them time and again, goes a long way. That's first thing. Resilience, not giving up on the process of doing it again and again and again and again. And that also comes in. With that being said, consistency is a big key as well. Now, the first thing is willingness. This is what I've seen in people when I hire people is, first I see how willing they are. I don't see desperation. Desperation is something...
Everyone is desperate
I'm desperate to get more clients. I'm desperate to get more job out of it. I'm desperate to, when I was applying for my job, I was desperate. But desperation doesn't mean that you're going to be the pioneers, or you have the willingness.
Like a temporary.
It's a temporary solution or a temporary feeling that it fades away.
Desperate, right?
So the other day I was talking to Mahad. I was talking to Mahad in a way that what happens when somebody does the same job for 6 months? If they're out of desperation, they're doing it. After 6 months, they tend to lose purpose.
They'll have that saturation point.
They'll have the saturation point. Now, if that person treats that job or treats that opportunity as a career, there is nothing more beautiful than that.
Yeah,
that's all we are looking for. Willingness that converts their job into career, because they're in it. For example, an editor loves to edit. Out of desperation, he's a videographer, he turned editor. Imagine how worse that is. Or maybe you're a graphic designer, out of desperation become a videographer. Are you going to love your job? 6 months you'll be like, I'm sick and tired of pretending. I cannot do this.
Yeah,
I cannot do this, right? Example, an ads manager became an SEO specialist. 6 months pretending, doing the things that he's not supposed to do or she's not supposed to do. That's it. Desperation in job, obviously you will not have somebody's not going to kind of give you the job if you don't show desperation or willingness. But again, it has to be mellowed down. Desperation is always a secondary feeling. Willingness and resilience is first. We can always train people. In our organization, we train everybody. We train everybody to they make mistakes. We train everybody to follow a certain pattern, certain structure. This is how you do it. This is how we have done it. And they follow the same pattern and they're successful, right?
Yes.
They're successful in what they're doing.
Yeah.
And every time we hire, I just see willingness. I just see resilience. I see that person is happy to do what they have applied for.
And
I want to see that happiness.
And one thing I would like to add is like how much they believe in the brand. Like, because if you are desperate, if you have resilience in you, but if you are at the same time, if you are demotivated in a situation that you are facing in that time, like, do you believe in the brand for which you are working? That is very much important.
Yeah,
to,
because
to keep you going.
I think that's mostly with a growing brand, because a growing brand cannot offer so much right off the bat. It does not come with a lot of benefits. It does not come with a lot of pay raise scale. It does not, there is no high packages and whatnot, because it's a growing brand. Obviously, if it's a company that's growing, it's trying to get more revenue in, and they're trying to grow together. Obviously, the company will not have a lot of things to offer right off the bat. They will never have, right? But will they have in the near 5 years or 2 years or 3 years? That's where the trusting or belief in the brand comes into place.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you don't believe in the leaders of the brand who's leading the brand, if you don't believe in the managers who's leading you, if you don't believe in the sales, the sales people that are pushing more sales and bringing more revenue in, or the core fundamental, forget about sales, the core fundamentals of the organization, if you don't believe in the management or the directors or the VPs that
I think that's when you get the saturation point.
That's when you think because you're thinking that the brand is maybe not worth it, right? Maybe I'm going to work here for 6 months or 4 months or 3 months. Maybe they're not going to take care of me, or maybe I'm not paid enough right now. I need money right now. That's not how you get money.
That's how
Money always follows you. You don't follow money because it runs away from you. That's I'm talking out of my experience, right? If your work is excellent, if you are putting in the right effort, you will be noticed, right? We have an intern called Advait, right? So he sits in the corner, does his job, comes in, does some scheduling of social media post, helps the social media managers. Never heard a word from him. You know whom I hear good stuff about him from? I hear good stuff from the HR, from Mahan, who is his VP. I haven't heard a word from him. He speaks less. He just sits down, does his job.
Yeah.
But his work is making noise. And you know what? I would love to offer him a full-time position. I would love him to have that opportunity, that where he can trust the brand and then treat that as a career, do well within the organization, or no matter where he goes in his life, right? Because what I feel is when you sit down and you work, and that work makes enough noise for people to notice, and if you're not making noise and that noise actually is done by work and people notice your work, that's a huge achievement.
That's a huge achievement, yes.
And he just finished his colleges. He just finished his college right now. Just finished his college right now, and he just graduated. Guess what? He's doing a great job. I would love to offer him a full-time position because he earned it.
He earned it, yes.
Didn't even speak a word. Sat down, did his work. People talk great about him. HR came up to me and said, you know what? We should help him out. We should give him, from his internship, we should transfer into a full-time position. That's a great example right there. He didn't run behind money. He never came up to me and said, oh, you know what? I'm going to, I need X amount of dollars. I need this, I need that. Nothing. Work is making noise. Work is speaking. Let's talk about retaining the growth that we are having, right? Because that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare for every leaders that's leading the brand. You can have growth, by retaining that growth is very difficult, because you can have growth almost yearly, right? Every year you can have growth. Sometimes as a business owner, that growth might not be substantial every single year. It might not be consecutive every single year. There will be plateaus, they will go down, they will dip based on the market. Businesses are not doing so well. And the agency model or the marketing model is directly related to businesses. If businesses flourish, we do well. If businesses don't do well, because we are related to business owners, We function for business owners, and we function through business owners and by business owners. Without business owners, we are nothing, right?
Yes.
Given the current scenario right now of the market, it's very hard to stay consistent. It's almost a nightmare that, oh, you know what, we had 10% growth or 15% growth, 20% growth last year. We need the same amount of growth or even more. It's a constant pressure that I have. For me, I would say sometimes I find that pressure to be an opportunity, right? Because if I was doing something else, which is not my passion, I wouldn't find that drive to challenge myself. Right now, I think I've found my passion. So I love that challenge. I love that challenge myself. I take it as a challenge. I don't take it personally. Obviously, we cannot time the market. We cannot ask a lot from the market, because market is supreme. Market is prime. You cannot ask a lot. We have to respect the market.
Yes.
Right. But I feel challenged, and I think I flourish well under challenge. And I'm taking this as a challenge as well. Every time we grow, I will try to keep it consistent, but not pressure me so much that I don't do well. I don't want to pressure myself so much. I take it as a challenge, but I don't want to pressure myself so much.
I think adopting that mindset is something that not everyone can do, and that's why they feel in running a business, or that's why they stop doing business after some time, right? So if you don't keep changing your way of your business operations and the way you are working for on getting your clients, I think that might also restrict you on getting a lot of pressure, and then at the end you have to stop doing your business. So consistency, yes, that's there, like it plays a huge role in it, but I guess how frequent you are making changes in the way you are working, in the way you are getting clients, in the way you are running your business is something very important, and that helps you to keep the growth that you had this year. That helps you to take that growth to next year and do something different for the next year.
I'm up for it. Every time I see there is new product in the market, every time I see a new buzz,
rather than just having a conversation on that, we should actually play around with that.
Play around with it. Be a part of it, support the cause, be a part of good cause. If it's a good software, if it's a good medium, if it's a good social media platform, be there. It's free, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely free. You can sign up your company, your brand, your personal brand, your creative brand on that platform, and it's absolutely free. Be a part of it. Try out. You never know if that platform booms. The next thing you know is great opportunity. 100%. Previously we were stuck to just Google Ads, right?
Yeah.
We were just wanting more PPC clients and PPC focused clients. The market is shifting to social. Everybody wants to have that visual. Everybody wants to have that video content, the images, the carousel, the next viral hook, the next the viral hashtags, the music, viral music.
Yes.
The market and trend is changing. UGC form content. Now there is more content around the original content, not fluffed up content. The original content. How business owners are being original, being transparent. How they're growing their business. What's their revenue? How many sales they're doing per day, or those things people want to see. People want to usually audiences wants to see what's happening in your life, because they feel more connected.
More connected, and they get more trust now than before, because before it was all on
newspaper, Google, websites, radios, and right now they can see exactly see how you are, right? And it's more content now. It's more content driven.
Yes.
Long form, short form content, and long form content isn't dead. Short form content isn't dead. It's still here. It is the new thing. It is still a new thing. A lot of business owners are not doing it, and I highly recommend business owner jumping into video content creation. Doesn't matter how you speak. Doesn't matter what you speak. Doesn't matter like where you're doing it, you have to be a part
I
of
think
the process.
it's all about how you engage with your audience. Like how do you keep yourself transparent and discuss about your
Your
ideas,
problems, your struggles, or
yes.
success, everything, right?
Yeah.
Like today, we just got ready. We said that we are going to do a session. We sat down. I'm not dressed up. I'm in my regular attire. I just finished my daily responsibility, came in here, sat down, doing a podcast with you. Very raw.
That's what people are looking right now, instead of just searching for services on Google. And so people want to engage, and people want to see who you are, what you do, how different you are in terms of providing.
And also value. What value can you bring?
Value, yes.
Right?
Value.
These conversations are valuable, right? Because it is speaking out of our experience. What we have seen is something that I've read, something that I've witnessed, something that I'm seeing every single day. And I think I'm able to provide value to this audience who's looking at this podcast or seeing this podcast. That being said, we will summarize the podcast today, and we'll come up with more fun-loving content, more fun-loving podcast every single week. I'll try my best, right? That's it. I hope we were able to bring value to you, and thanks for watching so far. We are trying to build an agency called ORCAFY, and we are going to share all of our thoughts, all of our experiences that we had. Hope you like it. See you in the next one.
Thank you.